Welcome, everybody. Bite-worthy, another episode. We have another bite-worthy comedian. Biting material is not something that we do in the industry. As you know, bite-worthy is a term that I coined. Hopefully it catches on. I'm still, fingers crossed. This comedian is no exception. He's one that I actually don't know very well, but we're going to get to today. We just had a good meal at Jerusalem Bakery. This place is amazing. They have fresh pastries, dates, falafel, everything. It's really, really good. So he picked a good one. Bite-worthy is a term that I hope catches on for the reasons that it's a negative turning into a positive. He made a good point earlier as we were talking that biting material is a negative thing, but being worthy enough to want to steal from or good enough to want to take from is a good thing. So today we have Anant Gupta. So I heard that's a good pronunciation of your name.
I did it like a real South Asian.
Yeah, all right. So you picked this place. Why this place? Is this like one of your favorite places to eat?
Just generally in my area, especially when I'm at home, it's like super close, it's convenient, and I think really just bang for your buck. Like,
it's good.
You have like a solid shwarma sandwich, and
for the first time, I've never had shawarma before. The only time I've ever heard the word is in Avengers. Like that's it. That's all I've heard. It's really good shawarma place. And like I don't know what that is.
Me and Tony Stark, same place.
Yeah. So it's just.
But yeah, just local, like
bang for buck.
We're doing lunch, so like something simple. I don't want too much going on.
I get that. Yeah. It is really good. So good choice. I hope no one picks a bad place. That hasn't happened yet. So comedians have good taste in the food. So I've seen you around, but I really got to know you very well. So your ethnicity is Indian. Okay. So I have met a few Indian comics. Jay is one of them, and then
I can probably list most of them. you want me? Jay, Shaunak, Zain Sharif, Vineet Loya, and Ramesh. Shout out Ramesh, good friend. That's Yugansh Malik. I represent the brands. That's all.
Yugansh, that's right.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah, he's dark. He's dark and funny.
Yugansh is we love Yugansh.
He had a joke. I thought I was at Limerick one day, and he had a joke. He has a joke where he was complaining about being 5'11". I was like, dude, I hate you so much.
Yeah. Well, is he just like, I can't lie and be like, I'm 6 foot on
he's like 5'11" and a half. He goes, I was so close to a good kindergarten, which is a good joke. That's a bite-worthy bit. But I'm like, how do you complain about being 5'11"? I'm 5'5". I've been this way since 8th grade. Like, I haven't grown at all.
Yeah, not a giant tangent of being short, but it's like, they give you hope sometimes when you're short. They're like, you'll grow.
Yeah.
And you get to like 14, 15, and it doesn't happen.
Nothing.
Dreams crushed.
Nothing.
But yeah, was that just asking about the Indian comedians?
Yeah, because I don't really know of any other of those. I've seen all those guys. I've seen them. And they're funny. I wanted to ask you, this kind of goes into my next question, is that there's been like a surge of Indian comics. And, from India, Pakistani, Middle Eastern, Eurasian countries, are there some comics in that realm that we should check out, and I mean white people, check out that we may not have heard of, that we should really
back in their place?
Yeah, both in the Indian culture, and because it's big, entertainment in there is big. Bollywood is a crazy impressive thing, but in India and then also in the States that we might not know.
That you don't know, okay. I'll go into this bit because they're definitely guys who I just think I grew up in the know. Aziz we've known for a long time.
Right.
Hassan Minaj is really popping now. He made Daily Show, now he's touring and everything. But yeah, I mean, so talking about the scene back home, like India, it's relatively super new, just stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
In those clubs, and man, I feel bad I can't nothing particular names don't come to mind, but
The only one that I know of is Asak Singh. Yeah,
See, I'm
Asak
not
Singh.
even-
He had the bit. He has the bring back Apu bit. And
Akash Singh?
Akash Singh.
Akash, yeah.
Excuse me. Akash Singh.
Yeah.
Akash
Yeah,
Singh.
that's
and
new.
he's so sharp and funny, and like I just got me thinking, like, hey, there's got to be other good comics that happen to be of Indian descent that I don't know about. You know, 'cause we see some other.
They're definitely in the States here and there, and like,
What about that? What about
yeah,
that?
that's what I'm saying. That's interesting. Where it's like, as the guys that shot them out, like I don't really know the back home like by name. I just know like they get crazy views.
Oh, really?
Like at these clubs, like they put their stuff on YouTube. Like
Really?
honestly, every other video is like 10 million views or something.
Good
pretty
God.
wild. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Kenny's, I know Kenny doesn't sound like the most Indian man, but like Kenny Sebastian is like actually I think an Indian dude.
Really?
From India that plays guitar.
Okay.
Thing. Man, I don't know like the full Indian market. I know people who crossed over, like what is his name, bro? Veer Das, who crossed
Veer-
over. Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know, I didn't want to assume anybody's ethnicity, because you never know if someone's from Pakistan, Iran,
Yeah,
India.
that's fair, dude. Yeah.
You just have to ask, and it's not racist to ask. You're just curious because you don't know them, you know. And then if I were to say like, well, I hate you because you're Indian, that's different. That's very different. That's not what we do. Okay, so Veer Das.
Veer Das
Okay.
is crossed over. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he was like actually in Bollywood movies for a good bit.
Oh, really?
He did some here and there. He was in Delhi Billy. I'm probably not representing for the news right now. but Musty's on this, like a terrible movie he did. He talks about it in like a stand-up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like that. Made his career all rocky and everything. And I think he chose to do stand-up because like acting is such a. You say comedy's weird. Acting is very like you gotta follow the orders and like you can just be in like horrible stuff and you have to
Could
live
not.
with it.
And then it's there forever.
Yeah.
I mean, your joke is out there, but it's like, I can nix that joke. You can't get rid of that movie. Like, you can't just not do the movie. It's done. It gets done. Yeah, you told the joke, but like, I don't tell that joke anymore because it sucks. You'd be like, hey, I can't not let you see that movie because it's dumb. That's an odd one. So, you know, Akash Singh, I talk about that, and hot take. I think Bush should not have gone.
Oh, if you want, man, Harikan Balu, he's the guy who put out the documentary in the first place, where it was
really?
the problem with Apu. That was like a documentary.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Akash thing is a direct response, but
It's
yeah,
just a
those
really
like
good
kinda
take
tie
on
in.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like Apu isn't racist.
That's probably the best civil discourse. Like,
Sure.
hey, I think this is a problem, and here's why. And then he's like, hey, it's not a problem once you think about it, and here's why. That's a beautiful thing. I love Apu. I love Apu because I worked in telephone and telecommunications, and part of what I see in like the hotel industry is a lot of hotels and motels are run by Patels. A lot of them, an overwhelming majority. There was an article printed in the 80s about it, and it was just like this. It's not indicative of a hatred thing. It's just statistics, and it was just a thing that happened, and that's part of why I think Apu was like, I guess, stereotyped. I don't know. It's really interesting to see like an Indian being like, this is bad, and another Indian being like, this is actually not bad. It's so cool to kind of see like all the takes on
Is
it.
there just like so much consensus among white people or like any other race or like? I mean, it's kind of funny that you say it's cool. Sometimes, like, if you want to keep it unfiltered, I get frustrated. That, like,
really?
There's so much because like for Indians to like come together sometimes, especially like if we're just first generation Indian kids. Like my parents are immigrants. I grew up here, so it's like I kind of have this natural instinct to be like, oh, you're Indian, I'm Indian. Hey, let's just like talk a little. And some of them are just like, oh no, I'm from this part, my parents from there. And I'm like, bro, we're all Mexican here, so you don't gotta You don't
we're all we're all
like
here.
the intention is like the unity, but no, in the comedic sense, like yeah, it is cool for like Hurry to be like, oh, it's a problem to be portrayed in Indian that way, but Akash years later to be like, no, there's no issue. And I think it just gets messy with the whole Apu thing because like Hank Azaria, a white dude. That's what people are like, well, why?
Could they not have that? Okay, valid points on both sides. I get it. So, speaking of Indians, and I'm talking about their cuisine specifically. I have medically what's called, I think doctors call it white man's stomach. And so, if I were to dip my toes into like Indian cuisine, what should I start with? Sensitive palate. Because, example, if I have something that's moderately spicy, it's very spicy. If I have something that's a little bitter, it's very bitter. You know, so if I were to get, my sensitive palate into Indian food, where would I go?
Yeah, again, like the vegetarian options are like at least kind of tame. Gobi, like I said, Gobi is like kind of served with. Let's take a note, sauce.
I do need
Gobi can be served with cauliflower, potato.
Okay.
A lot of like just simple dal makhani, just simple dal,
Okay.
I mean, man, like simple Indian food. I know we had that earlier where it's just like
you said like street food is like some of the best.
Yeah, but
that's wild.
With all the ingredients and stuff, man, I don't know what would be just simple though. Because like so much goes into it.
It's not a simple cuisine. It's very complex. It's good. I mean, that's a good thing to have flavor, layers, different types, savory, sweet. I respect that because I'm Italian and food it's a food show. I mean, half the show is about food and half of it's about comedy. Both are universal. That's kind of why I do this to peel back the curtain on why. But I like some really good food. It's just my Caucasian stomach. Okay, so go with Gobi. Start with like that.
Vegetarian options aren't too wild, I honestly think.
Okay, all right.
But like again,
safer.
Yeah,
cool.
But butter chicken is pretty. It's like a creamy chicken with like a curry and stuff.
What would be the worst thing for white man's stomach?
Biryani probably.
Biryani?
Yeah.
Biryani?
Yeah. It's just like rice with chicken, or like sometimes we do it with mutton. So, it's just all over the place.
Okay. All right.
This chole would probably be bad for you too. That's chickpea, just in all this again, the same kind of big herb stuff.
And how I've eaten a little bit of curry. I've never really eaten spicy. How hot can curry get? Like curry dishes can be pretty up there in spice.
Honestly,
right?
I think the thing that makes it really spicy is if you have a good chutney, which is like kind of a green sauce.
Yeah.
That can get crazy. People don't care about
Is there an Indian spice that even Indians are like, no, I don't want that.
I don't know, man. I think they'll just do whatever.
Just go hard.
Yeah. Spice is just. The thing, sometimes I'm this one getting a little jammed. Spice is sometimes just associated with flavor. It's not always just
you're calling white culture out there. you are, because we just talked about that. We just talked about that bit, man. Where do white Americans go for dinner? They're they say, oh, we're gonna go with Italian. We're gonna go get Chinese. We're gonna go get Mexican. We're gonna get Indian. We're gonna go that.
Flavor, dude. It's not always just it's hot. It's gonna make me mad. It's just I have a spice, flavor.
Oh, you mean garlic and spices?
Yeah, honestly.
Okay, cool.
That's what I'd be Indian food. It's just we're adding something to our food. I don't want just some
fair. It's very fair. Very fair.
Fried chicken breast.
Oh, I have eaten so much unflavored.
It's super practical.
I feel so.
I can't hate on it.
So called out right now.
I can't hate on it.
So I'm cursed with the same affliction of not being super tall, pretty short, in fact.
Yeah.
And you're a little taller than me. Not hard to do because I'm 5'5". Again, fourth shortest male comic in Atlanta. Do you enjoy it more when there's a stage versus no stage?
Yes, 100. Dude, the tall comedians don't get it. They don't get it. I was just like, oh, if I want to do comedy, I at least want to have a stage.
Yeah.
Just to like
Jacob Chalk could stand in a 4-foot hole and he'd be like, I'm fine. Like, I hate him.
Liam Nelson, dude, he can just show up to places.
7 feet.
Yeah.
7 feet. I can't jump to that height. Like, it's insanity. I wrote a couple of jokes about there are some benefits to being short. You have to find the silver linings, but you know. Okay, good. Me too. That was one of my first jokes that I wrote about being short. Is like, I don't do comedy to get laughs. I just do it because there's a stage, you know. And it kind of get laughs, but it's kind of half true, haha, but half not. Those makes good. Those make good jokes. It's the ones that are just like, haha, whatever. Some people laughed at an OTP bit that I did. It was just a throwaway joke. I said, I live OTP. Yeah, you know me. And they laughed. I was like, well, it's not even funny. I didn't think it was funny, but it is, I guess. I don't know.
I'll be setting up a joke and they'll start laughing. And I'm like,
that's not the part.
Yeah.
That's not the part.
It's a great problem to have.
Yeah, oh man.
I got something. But then like, you go back to timing and it's like, oh, but that was my punchline, so I guess I just gotta keep going.
Just write it on now. Okay, so, alright, as an Indian comic, is it off limits or really taboo to poke fun at maybe, I don't want to say the feud or maybe the history, I guess, that Indians have with like Pakistan? Because that's usually, I see this in different areas of the world. Like I worked in the kitchen with 7 Hispanics, right? 6 of them were for 2 different places in Mexico, Morelia and Monterrey, and then there's 1 Honduran. Everybody else cooks. Honduran, dishwasher. So I don't know if there's like a hierarchy or like there's always, like in Asia, you might have Japanese who look down upon Koreans at times, or Chinese, or whatever. Is that kind of the same way in Indian Pakistani? And is it soft enough where you can like poke fun?
Okay, the India-Pakistan thing, it's just actually just religion and land.
Okay.
Those 2 places, that's what they fight over. And yeah, but it's like a byproduct of colonization. Like after the British left, I'm not a history teacher, but this is like my understanding.
Right.
There was like debate around like, okay, is India going to be a Muslim country or a Hindu country? And shout out to Hindus, we won. But I'm kidding. But I mean, I did poke fun at it, but I guess it's just a comedy.
You answered my question, but yeah, that's
like I think just. You know, it's just about comedy and food. I guess politics will just weave its way in there.
Yeah, usually.
I think you can, but you have to kind of be aware that you will get pushback. It's a pretty heavy India-Pakistan, like, just that border and like all the stuff that happened during partition time. The partition was like a big event. Like, because they decided that Pakistan will be for Muslims and India was Hindu. There was a lot of migration back and forth.
Right.
Like people literally having to just leave their homes and be like, okay, but we have to go to Pakistan, we have to go to... So that created a bunch of fighting.
So it's a lot heavier than we...
Oh, for sure.
Because what I see is usually like, you know, why did the Indian cross the road? To get away from Pakistan. Like, you know, simple, like, it's like, we don't fully understand like the gravity of that sometimes, and because we might think that, oh yeah, it's just good-natured ribbing because these 2 countries had, you know, feud, history, battles, or a war at one point, but so it is heavier. But I guess you can go there because this is comedy. You can say whatever you want, but you also can get the worst feedback. That's the beauty of it.
I think that's fair for how I see it. Like if you're gonna, dude, how many comedians are like, I can say what I want. Why are people getting offended? This is comedy. I can do what I want.
Well, I could say because you said something offensive, objectively offensive. That's why. And so, but you can I guess there's always a subtle, nice line to walk with, like, oh, this is dangerous, but here's a funny, innocent, objective take on it, or a silly, ridiculous take. I've seen it a lot, usually on like TikTok or something like a small Instagram reel or something like that. I might see stuff like that. So
Can I pose you a question though?
yeah.
Would you do India-Pakistan jokes?
I wouldn't, but I don't. I'm not Indian or Pakistani.
That's what I get. Like, hopefully they give me some leeway. 'Cause, like,
maybe if I did like an Indian room.
Okay, that's brave, bro.
I might be able to say
brave.
objectively, hey, I noticed this, and maybe take a little jab, but I don't know enough about it. If I was well versed in it, I'd be like, oh yeah.
They may just appreciate that you know. There's
Maybe.
India, there's Pakistan,
Yeah.
there's Bangladesh, there's Sri Lanka. They'll be like, hey, he knows.
Oh yeah, he's got it. He knows his history or whatever. Okay, fair enough. And so my last, I'm gonna leave you with this. My last question is,
That's cool.
yeah, we're gonna keep it nice and short and sweet. But I wanted to ask you, this is something that's plagued me since I was in middle school. How in God's green earth do you play cricket? Like there's so many rules. The field is huge. There are positions that there are like so many positions. Football has a lot of positions, and cricket has more than that.
I mean, do you not kind of see that's like a little like baseball? A little?
Yeah, but it's like if you were to take baseball and like
remove
360
the
degrees.
3 bases, yeah. Just like have a one line. Okay, well, I'll start, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
simplify it.
So there's basically someone who bowls,
Okay.
that's kind of like the equivalent of a pitcher.
Okay.
And the batsman is just, he kind of has to hit it like this. It's like a flat bat. It's not just like we can swing like that. So instead of going through all the 3 bases in baseball, you just went back and forth between these wickets. And if that the pitcher, the bowler, hits your wicket, you'd be out. Or there'd be, you gotta like keep running back and forth. But if he hits the wicket, I didn't know this was gonna be such an India test. Like, I did not know that, like, yo, all these questions are like explain India to me. I don't know how people view this, what your Indian audience is. I hope they're not like, hey, he's fucking all this up. I'm just not doing anything right. But basically,
general curiosity. It really is.
Yeah, but kind of yeah, man. You gotta get the 2 teams. Again, the 2 teams like baseball. One's batting, one's bowling.
If one catches, you're out. Like,
yeah, again, you're out like that too. And dude, let me put this out there. The ball is hard.
Is it really?
Yes, the cricket ball is very hard.
Like a pool ball?
Yeah, the ball they used to bowl.
Like a billiard ball?
Yeah, it's just like leather. Like leather and then it's with like some metal. And we don't got a glove. Where you just like, to be fair, like, you just like catch that, palm it, roll it. Like, they're savages.
All right, maybe I should respect some cricket players more, because that's rough. Because I've been at a baseball game, right? Foul ball comes whizzing by me. And I'm like, if I would just be like, that's it, that's my job in the sport,
I would be cute viral kid
right.
that gives the ball to the girl or whatever, the jumbotron.
They don't show the girl that broke her orbital socket. they don't show those. If that was my position in cricket, I'd be like, all right, you gained a little respect there. Okay. Well, I don't want to end on that. Let's end on a comedy thing, and then a food one. We talk about bite-worthy comics, bite-worthy comedians. Rattle off some of the bite-worthy comedians that you've seen around Atlanta, because that's what this is geared for. This is tailored to.
There's people I'm envious of, like, they're so good. I wish I could bite.
One or two, bite-worthy comics. Let's hear it.
Will Foskey, I think, is really good.
I finally got to see him for the first time.
I saw his album recording, man.
How was it?
Great. He's solid.
Yeah.
He did a full hour and probably then some. He did like a bunch of shows in the Skull. I think he's got great bits. He has this one bit. Can I list the bits or whatever? Just like the
yeah. I mean, if he's already done them, yeah.
He has this one thing where he's like, he moved in the new place and he found out that his neighbor's house was burning, and like he went out and he was just smoking a cigarette. And his friend was like, "Really, dude? You're gonna be like an asshole and smoke a cigarette while your house is burning?" But that's not being an asshole. I'd be an asshole if I went up to the burning house, lit up my cigarette with the burning house, and then just kept smoking. He's like, "It's fine, nothing's burning, just your memories."
No big deal.
Yeah. Will Foskey's great. Zane Sharif is really good too. Just guys you can see at the skull. Will, Zane, and I'll throw in a woman comedy. Why not? Tamar Rubin is very, very talented.
Oh, she had that
Tamar
joke.
Rubin, if you're watching this, you're great.
She's awesome. I had that bit about spiders and like why would I be scared of a baby? Like if the baby has a gun. That's so stupid, but it's like, oh man, that's brilliant.
That's what I mean,
nobody
I've
never heard a play on words on pregnancies.
Yeah. And just to like hear that someone's like, she just has fun. I feel like when I see her on stage, it's just like, it's a good mix of like, I'm having fun, I know I have some stuff ready, so tomorrow's great. Yeah.
Touche. Okay, so this time, I'll leave it on this for real. Okay. So I brought up gulab jamun.
Gulab jamun, yeah.
Gulab jamun. Is that how you say it?
You can be casual, yeah, gulab jamun. Yeah.
Gulab jamun. Okay, so that, I was looking, I'm like, I'm trying to research a little bit, and it looks so good.
Yeah.
And is there like another underrated food? Doesn't have to be Indian, because this is not an Indian day. This is just like any food that you're like, this is underrated, that people might not know about.
Man.
Most likely it might be Indian, but that's okay. Because I don't know a lot about other cuisines, like other Italian, American.
I'll give you a drink. Like,
Tell me.
Mango lassi is like a great, just
Mango lassi?
Yeah, if you know, you say you're worried kind of
sounds
like
a stripper.
Mango lassi. Dude, this is a childhood drink, bro. You got like,
all right.
It's all good.
I don't want to sexually objectify your child.
That's why I laugh. This is funny. But like, you know, like way back, you're like, oh, I'm worried like this food might be too hot or whatever.
Yeah.
I kind of found that like a good mango lassi is like kind of the thick milk drink. And then mango is like the flavor of it. So like a lot of times this stuff is too hot. You don't just want water. That's not gonna do anything. But the lassi, that thick kind of curd, soothe the flame for a bit, and so mango lassi is underrated.
And is that in India?
Yeah, you find in India, I think mainly lassi. It's just like,
so if I find a restaurant that has gulab jamun and mango lassi, that's my new place, man.
They're for the culture, yeah.
Okay. Well, now plug and promote anything that you do. You have anything, any shows? Do you have anything going on? Do you have like a skull appearance? Do you have anything like that you do?
I'm just open micing. El Dorado's a great room. I pop in there sometimes. El Dorado, roll call. You can see me there.
Yeah.
And Limerick, all those areas. Midtown, I've been in those spots.
Yeah, I'm doing Limerick Tuesday. My first feature there. So that's a good one. An Italian walks into an Irish bar. That's basically what that's going to be. That's what that's going to be. All right, well, that's it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Next, we actually will have Stephen Jones, Christian Davis, maybe some others. Stay tuned. Thanks, guys.
Later.